chosen ones. Finally, the divine reversal God gave you is in full power. There are moments in life when heaven quietly leans close to the earth, and this is one of those sacred moments when hearts must pay attention with deep spiritual awareness. Something precious is unfolding right now, something gentle yet powerful that many people wait their entire lives to experience. The season of delay, confusion, and quiet tears is slowly fading away like darkness disappearing before the first light of dawn. A divine shift has begun, and the hand of God is moving in ways that will soon become visible in your life. The story that once seemed filled with struggle is being rewritten by the loving power of heaven, and the change happening now is not small or temporary. It is a divine reversal that carries the warmth of God's promise and the tender presence of Jesus Christ guiding every step forward. If your heart believes that God never forgets the ones who trust Him, even during the hardest seasons, write Amen in the comments. The road behind you has been long, and every step carried moments that felt heavy and uncertain. There were days when the silence felt endless, when hope felt fragile, and when the future seemed hidden behind clouds of doubt. Yet through every quiet night and every unseen tear, God was carefully shaping something greater than the pain you once carried. His love has never left you alone, even when the path looked empty and confusing. What seemed like waiting was actually preparation, and what looked like loss was quietly becoming the soil where miracles would grow. Within the quiet chambers of heaven, God was already arranging the moment of restoration long before your heart could see it. Every hardship was being transformed into strength, every delay was slowly preparing a greater blessing, and every hidden struggle was being noticed by the compassionate eyes of your Creator. The divine reversal spoken over your life is not built on chance or temporary emotion. It is built on the deep and unchanging love of God, and when His timing arrives, no force on earth can stop the beautiful restoration He has prepared. If this truth brings peace to your heart and reminds you that God's timing never fails, type 1111 in the comments. Many people carry a quiet belief that their season of hardship will never end, yet God gently reminds His children that every winter eventually gives way to spring. The struggles you once faced were never meant to define your future, because God has always been writing a greater story filled with healing, restoration, and peace. The divine reversal now unfolding is the moment when heaven begins turning every painful chapter into a testimony of grace. The weight you once carried is slowly being lifted, and the burdens that once filled your heart are being replaced with renewed strength and calm hope. Take a small moment right now to support this video by pressing the like button, allowing this uplifting story of faith and hope to reach many hearts that need comfort today. Jesus Christ has always walked beside those who feel overlooked, forgotten, or tired from the long journey of faith. His presence carries a quiet warmth that restores broken courage and reminds the weary heart that heaven never abandons those who trust in God's goodness. Even during the seasons when answers seemed distant, the love of Christ remained close, surrounding your life with unseen protection and patient guidance. Nothing you have endured has been wasted, because God has the beautiful ability to transform even the hardest chapters into moments of renewal. The divine reversal you are stepping into is not simply about circumstances changing around you. It is about your heart discovering a deeper understanding of God's faithfulness. Every trial strengthened your faith, every waiting season deepened your trust, and every quiet prayer drew you closer to the loving presence of your Creator. Now the time has come for the quiet seeds planted in faith to grow into visible blessings that reflect the goodness of heaven. Imagine the gentle sunrise that slowly fills the sky with light after a long and silent night. That same peaceful light is now entering your life as the promises of God begin unfolding in ways that bring healing and renewal. The darkness that once surrounded your circumstances cannot remain where the light of God begins to shine. His love carries a power greater than fear, stronger than doubt, and deeper than any hardship you have faced along the journey. Chosen ones often walk through seasons that feel misunderstood by others, because the path of faith sometimes requires quiet perseverance that few people can see. Yet God sees every step you have taken, every prayer whispered in hope, and every moment you refuse to surrender your trust. The divine reversal unfolding now is heaven's response to a heart that continued believing even when the road seemed uncertain. There is a quiet peace that begins filling your spirit when you realize that God's plan has always been greater than your fears. His wisdom reaches beyond every obstacle, and His compassion carries you gently through every storm that once seemed impossible to overcome. What felt like the end of hope was actually the beginning of restoration, preparing to bloom at the perfect moment. Jesus Christ teaches that love, patience, and faith always carry a deeper strength than the noise of doubt surrounding the world. His presence invites every weary soul to rest in the assurance that God's promises never fade or disappear. Even when life appears uncertain, the quiet hand of heaven continues, guiding every detail toward a future filled with healing and purpose. The divine reversal happening now is like a door slowly opening to reveal a new season of peace, restoration, and renewed strength. God is not simply changing circumstances around you. He is renewing your heart, restoring your courage, and filling your life with the gentle confidence that comes from knowing heaven walks beside you. A newly revealed 7-second brainwave method, backed by neuroscience and once hidden in classified documents, is helping thousands activate their brain's wealth setting. People refer to it as the money magnet sound because of how quickly it appears to attract abundance. Click the link in the description and comments below to awaken the prosperity already within you. Many blessings unfold quietly at first, almost like soft rain watering the ground before a garden begins to bloom. In the same way, God's restoration may begin with small moments of peace, unexpected encouragement, and gentle reminders that you are never alone. These small signs become the beginning of a greater transformation that grows stronger with each passing day. The journey ahead will reveal how beautifully God can transform hardship into healing and sorrow into renewed joy. The divine reversal spoken over your life carries the fingerprints of heaven, and its purpose is to remind you that God's love never stops working, even during the most silent seasons of waiting. The divine reversal that has begun in your life continues to unfold quietly, like a gentle sunrise, slowly brightening every corner of the earth after a long and silent night. What once looked impossible is now being reshaped by the compassionate hands of God, and the story that once carried pain is slowly transforming into a testimony filled with grace and restoration. Heaven does not rush the beautiful things it prepares, and the blessings God releases into the lives of His children arrive with perfect wisdom and gentle purpose. The struggles you once carried were never meant to remain forever, because the loving heart of God always moves toward healing, renewal, and peace. This new season unfolding around you carries the warmth of divine kindness that patiently waited for the right moment to bloom. The journey of faith often feels quiet and unseen by the world, yet every faithful step has always been noticed by the compassionate eyes of heaven. There were seasons when your heart felt tired and uncertain, moments when the silence felt heavy and the answers seemed far away. Yet, even during those quiet nights, God's presence surrounded your life like a shield of light, protecting your future. Nothing that happened along the path was ignored, and every tear that fell from a weary heart was gently held in the memory of your Creator. The divine reversal now moving through your life is heaven's response to every moment you continued believing, even when the road looked uncertain. If your heart continues to trust the gentle guidance of Jesus Christ through every season of life, write yes in the comments. Faith grows strongest during moments when the outcome is still hidden beyond the horizon. It is easy to believe when everything is clear and peaceful, yet the deepest trust grows when a heart continues walking forward while the future remains unseen. God understands the quiet courage it takes to keep hoping when circumstances feel confusing. That courage has never been wasted, because every moment of trust becomes a seed planted in the soil of heaven's promise. Now those seeds are beginning to rise slowly into the light, carrying the signs of restoration and hope that God lovingly prepared long ago. The love of Jesus Christ has always been the gentle voice that reminds every weary heart that no struggle lasts forever. His presence carries a peace that reaches deeper than the noise of fear surrounding the world. Even when people feel forgotten or overlooked, the compassionate heart of Christ continues drawing them closer to the warmth of God's grace. The divine reversal unfolding in your life is a reflection of this very love. It is the quiet moment when the goodness of heaven begins to shine through the places that once felt dark and uncertain. Imagine a river that flows steadily through a valley after a long season of drought. At first the ground may appear dry and quiet, yet the moment the water begins to move again, life slowly returns to the land. Plants begin to rise, fresh air fills the space, and the entire landscape transforms with renewed beauty. In the same gentle way, the presence of God is now flowing through your life again, bringing restoration to places that once felt empty. His love carries the power to renew every corner of the heart, even the spaces that seemed forgotten by time. The divine reversal given by God does not simply change circumstances around you. It restores your inner strength and awakens the hope that once felt distant. When heaven begins moving in this way, the heart starts feeling a calm confidence that cannot easily be shaken. This confidence does not come from human effort alone. It comes from the quiet assurance that God's loving plan is unfolding exactly as it should. The path ahead may still carry unknown moments, yet your spirit now walks with a deeper peace because heaven is guiding every step. Many people believe that blessings must arrive suddenly and loudly, yet God often works through quiet transformations that slowly reshape the story of a life. The healing that heaven releases does not always appear in dramatic ways at first. Sometimes it begins with a gentle peace filling the heart where worry once lived. Sometimes it begins with renewed strength appearing after a long season of exhaustion. These quiet beginnings are often the first signs that the divine reversal has already begun working beneath the surface. When Jesus walked among people who were tired and discouraged, his presence brought a calm hope that changed their entire outlook on life. His words carried compassion, and his actions revealed the deep love of God reaching toward those who felt forgotten. That same loving presence continues today, quietly reminding every chosen heart that heaven has never turned away from them. The divine reversal unfolding now carries the same spirit of compassion and renewal that Christ revealed through every step of his journey. Faith is not simply about waiting for something good to happen someday. Faith is about trusting that God is already working, even when the results cannot yet be seen clearly. Every moment you held on to hope during difficult days became a declaration that your heart believed in the goodness of heaven. That belief created a path for God's restoration to enter your life at the right moment. Now the season of renewal is beginning to rise like morning light spreading across the sky. If you receive this season of renewal with gratitude and trust in God's loving guidance, type 1212 in the comments. The divine reversal you are experiencing is also shaping a deeper understanding of who you are in the eyes of God. You are not defined by the seasons that tried to break your spirit or the voices that once spoke doubt into your path. Your identity rests in the love that God placed within you from the beginning. That love is stronger than any obstacle that once stood in your way, and it continues guiding your steps toward a future filled with meaning and peace. A 7-second brainwave practice, once reserved for select circles and concealed in classified files, has now been made public, and many describe it as the 30-second miracle. Experts say it awakens a dormant brain center connected to wealth and blessings. Click the link in the comments below before it is taken down from the internet again. Chosen hearts often carry stories that include both hardship and extraordinary grace. The reason these journeys appear challenging at times is because God is preparing them to become living reminders of His faithfulness. Every struggle you walked through created a deeper strength within your soul. That strength now becomes part of the blessing God is releasing into your life. The divine reversal does not erase the past, yet it transforms the meaning of everything that once felt painful. There is something beautiful about realizing that heaven has always been working behind the scenes of your story. Even during moments when life seemed uncertain, God was quietly arranging circumstances that would eventually lead toward restoration. His wisdom reaches far beyond what human understanding can see, and His compassion carries a patience that never fails. The divine reversal now taking shape in your life is the result of that perfect wisdom unfolding exactly when the time was right. The path ahead may reveal blessings that arrive gently and gradually, yet each new step will carry signs of the transformation God has begun. Peace will replace anxiety in ways that feel almost surprising. Strength will appear where exhaustion once lived. Opportunities for healing and growth will open like doors that were once hidden from view. These moments are the quiet fingerprints of heaven, guiding your journey forward. Jesus Christ always taught that the kingdom of God grows quietly within the heart before it becomes visible in the world around us. In the same way, the divine reversal you are experiencing begins inside your spirit. It starts with a renewed sense of peace and hope that fills your thoughts and reshapes your perspective. From that inner renewal, the changes around you slowly begin to follow. The love of God continues flowing through every chapter of your story, bringing restoration to places that once carried pain. Each day, moving forward, becomes an opportunity to witness the gentle power of heaven working within your life. The divine reversal has already begun, and the peace that comes with it will continue growing stronger as you walk forward in faith. Your journey is now moving toward a future filled with quiet miracles, renewed strength, and the comforting presence of Jesus Christ, guiding every step with unwavering love. The journey you have walked through was never meaningless, even during the moments that felt lonely or confusing. Every step, every prayer, and every silent hope has been gently gathered by the loving hands of heaven, preparing the path that now leads toward restoration. There were seasons when your heart felt surrounded by uncertainty and quiet disappointment. Some days carried a heaviness that words could barely describe, and the road ahead often looked hidden behind shadows of doubt. Yet, even during those silent moments, the presence of God remained closer than you realized. His compassion was quietly strengthening your spirit, even when your eyes could not see the full picture unfolding. The divine reversal now moving through your life is heaven's loving response to the faith that continued living in your heart, despite the long seasons of waiting. If your heart feels peace, knowing that God never abandons the ones who trust Him through every season of life, type 19 inches, the comments. Faith often grows strongest in places where comfort feels distant, and answers appear slow to arrive. The quiet endurance you carried during those difficult days became a beautiful testimony before heaven. God sees every moment when His children continue walking forward, even while uncertainty surrounds them. Those moments of perseverance are precious in His eyes, because they reflect a heart that trusts His goodness above every fear. Now the season of restoration has begun to rise gently over your life, like morning sunlight warming the earth after a long winter. The divine reversal you are experiencing is not simply about external changes appearing in your circumstances. It is also about the transformation happening deep within your spirit. The strength that God planted inside you during those difficult days is now beginning to shine in ways that feel calm and steady. Where fear once tried to speak loudly, a quiet confidence now begins to grow. This confidence does not come from human effort alone, but from the gentle assurance that God's loving plan is guiding every detail of your journey. Jesus Christ always carried a message of hope to those who felt tired and burdened by life's struggles. His presence reminded people that heaven sees every heart and understands every hidden sorrow. The same loving Spirit continues to reach people today, bringing comfort and renewal to those who feel weary from long seasons of waiting. The divine reversal unfolding in your life reflects that same compassionate love that Christ showed throughout His journey on earth. It is a reminder that God's grace has the power to transform even the hardest chapters of a person's story. Imagine a garden that once appeared empty after a harsh season of storms. The soil looked quiet, and the ground seemed still for a long time. Yet beneath the surface, seeds were patiently waiting for the moment when the sun would return and new life could begin to grow again. When that moment finally arrives, the garden slowly fills with color and fragrance that was hidden within the soil all along. The divine reversal now happening in your life carries the same quiet beauty. The seeds of faith planted during your hardest days are now rising into the light of God's promise. Many blessings appear gently at first, almost like soft whispers of hope touching the heart before larger changes become visible. God often begins restoration by renewing the inner peace of a person's spirit. This peaceful strength becomes the foundation for every other blessing that follows. When the heart begins to rest in the goodness of God, the future no longer feels frightening or uncertain. Instead, it begins to feel like a path guided by loving hands that will never allow you to walk alone. Chosen hearts often carry stories that include both struggle and incredible grace. The difficult seasons you once experienced were not signs that God had forgotten you. Instead, they became the moments when your faith was quietly being shaped into something stronger and deeper. That strength now becomes part of the blessing God is revealing through your life. The divine reversal unfolding around you is heaven's way of showing that every season of perseverance carried a purpose that will soon be clearly seen. If you believe that Jesus Christ continues guiding your life with compassion and unwavering love, write 666 inches the comments. A rare 7-second morning ritual, previously hidden in classified documents, is re-emerging, and people are already sharing accounts of swift financial advancement. It takes almost no time, yet it triggers a dormant wealth switch in the brain that most people never use. Click the link in the description and comments now to access it before it vanishes. God's wisdom moves far beyond the limits of human understanding. There were times when certain doors seemed closed and certain hopes appeared distant, yet heaven was carefully arranging something far greater than what your eyes could see at that moment. The delays you experienced were not the end of your story. They were part of the preparation that allowed God's perfect timing to unfold in a way that would bring lasting peace and restoration. The divine reversal now unfolding carries the gentle touch of God's mercy and the steady power of His promise. Each day moving forward becomes another step toward the fulfillment of what heaven has prepared. The burdens that once weighed heavily on your heart are slowly being replaced by renewed courage and quiet joy. Even the smallest moments of peace you feel are signs that God's restoration has already begun working within your life. Jesus Christ taught that the love of God reaches deeper than any sorrow the world may bring. His words and actions always reflected compassion toward those who felt lost or discouraged. That same compassion continues surrounding your life today. Every blessing that arrives now is a reminder that heaven's love never fades and never stops working for the good of those who trust in God's presence. The path ahead may reveal unexpected moments of healing and encouragement that remind you how faithfully God has guided your journey. Some blessings will appear in ways that surprise you, while others will grow slowly like strong trees rising from small seeds. Both forms of blessing carry the same message from heaven. God is restoring what once felt broken, and His love is shaping your future with care and wisdom. Peace is one of the greatest gifts God offers during seasons of divine reversal. When your heart begins to rest in the assurance that heaven is guiding your steps, worry slowly loses its power. Fear fades when faith becomes stronger than uncertainty. This peaceful confidence allows you to walk forward with calm hope, trusting that God's plan continues unfolding exactly as it should. The divine reversal also brings a renewed sense of purpose that begins growing quietly within your spirit. The experiences you once endured are becoming part of the strength that will guide others toward hope. Many people will one day see the transformation in your life and recognize the goodness of God shining through your story. Your journey becomes a living reminder that faith can carry a person through the darkest seasons and lead them into the light of restoration. Every sunrise that appears over the earth carries a quiet promise that darkness never lasts forever. In the same way, the divine reversal unfolding now in your life carries the promise that your future is being filled with new beginnings. The love of God continues shining through every step you take, guiding you gently toward the peace and healing that heaven has prepared. Even when life felt heavy and quiet, the gentle presence of Jesus Christ remained near, guiding your spirit through every unseen moment. Now the change that heaven prepared during those silent days is beginning to reveal itself with quiet beauty. There were times when your faith had to stand quietly in the middle of circumstances that seemed confusing and painful. Some days carried a weight that pressed deeply against your hope, and the road forward looked unclear. Yet even in those moments, God's compassion continued surrounding your life like a soft shield protecting your future. His love did not disappear when the road became difficult, and His promise did not fade when answers seemed delayed. The divine reversal unfolding now is the visible beginning of what heaven has been preparing throughout your entire journey. If your heart feels grateful for the quiet faithfulness of God that carried you through seasons when strength felt small, type 2323 in the comments. Faith has a remarkable way of growing stronger through seasons that appear uncertain. When everything seems easy and clear, trust often feels simple. Yet the deepest faith is born during moments when a heart continues believing, even while the future remains hidden beyond the horizon. God understands the courage it takes to keep trusting when answers have not yet appeared. Every step you took while holding on to hope became a beautiful declaration that your spirit believed in the goodness of heaven. Those moments of perseverance were never wasted or forgotten. Each quiet prayer you whispered during difficult days reached the heart of God with gentle power. Heaven listens closely to the cries of a faithful heart, and every tear shed in faith carries meaning within the loving memory of your Creator. The divine reversal now unfolding is heaven's response to the trust that remained alive within your soul during those long nights of waiting. The love of Jesus Christ continues to shine through every chapter of your life, even the chapters that once seemed filled with confusion or disappointment. His presence carries a peace that restores weary hearts and renews courage in ways that feel calm and steady. Christ always walked beside those who felt tired or overlooked, reminding them that God's compassion reaches deeper than the pain they carried. The same compassionate presence now walks beside you, guiding you gently into a new season of healing and hope. Imagine a field that remained quiet through an entire winter while the earth rested beneath the cold sky. To the eye, it may have looked empty and lifeless for a long time, yet beneath the soil, life was quietly waiting for the moment when warmth and light would return. When spring finally arrives, the field slowly fills with green life and color that had been hidden beneath the ground all along. The divine reversal happening in your life carries this same gentle transformation. What once appeared silent and unchanging was actually a season of preparation. God was nurturing seeds of faith within your heart, allowing them to grow strong enough to bloom at the perfect time. Now the warmth of His restoration is reaching your life, bringing renewal to places that once felt dry and uncertain. The blessings unfolding ahead are the result of those seeds patiently growing beneath the surface of your journey. If you continue trusting the loving guidance of God as your life enters this new season of restoration, write 2020 inches the comments. Many people believe that divine change must arrive suddenly and dramatically, yet God often works through quiet transformations that unfold step by step. The beginning of restoration sometimes appears as a calm peace that gently replaces anxiety. Other times it appears as a renewed strength that rises inside your heart after a long season of exhaustion. These moments are the first signs that heaven's promise is already moving through your life. What if abundance had always been influenced by a hidden brain signal, buried in classified records and never fully disclosed to the public? This frequency is now creating new pathways, attracting opportunities and reshaping lives faster than expected. Thousands are already using it to draw wealth like never before. Click the link in the description and comments now and activate the money-attracting brainwave today. The divine reversal also brings a new perspective that allows you to see your past through the lens of God's grace. The difficulties that once seemed meaningless begin to reveal deeper lessons and hidden strength. What felt like loss begins to transform into wisdom. What felt like weakness becomes a testimony of resilience and faith. God has a beautiful way of turning the hardest chapters of life into foundations for future blessings. Chosen hearts often walk through unusual paths because their journeys carry a purpose beyond ordinary understanding. The struggles you experienced did not come without meaning. They became the places where your faith was strengthened and your spirit learned to rely on God's presence more deeply. That strength now becomes part of the divine reversal unfolding in your life. It allows you to step forward with calm confidence, knowing that heaven has already carried you through the most difficult moments. Jesus Christ always reminded people that God's love never fails and never abandons those who trust in Him. His teachings carried the assurance that every person is seen and valued by their Creator. Even during seasons when people feel unnoticed by the world, heaven continues watching over them with compassion and care. The divine reversal unfolding now reflects that same loving attention. It is a sign that God has been working quietly on your behalf, preparing a season of restoration that will renew your spirit. The future unfolding ahead of you is not built on the pain of the past, but on the hope that God continues planting in your heart today. Every step forward now carries the light of faith guiding your path. The burdens that once felt heavy are gradually being replaced by a sense of calm trust. Even when challenges appear, your heart now carries the assurance that God's presence remains near.